Straight from South Africa.
This is the strange
and mysterious world with your hosts, Lee Stratum and William Collinson.
Good afternoon and welcome to Season 1, Episode 10, Strange and Mysterious World. This is William and Lee. Well, how's it going?
Good, Lee. How's it going with you, man?
Awesome. No, it's going very well. Thanks, bud. Obviously, this is going to be our last podcast for 2023. And then going on next week to, the next one will be in 2024. Our next one, I think you wanted to discuss Atlantis and Lemuria.
Yes, I've been reading some really interesting stuff. And then also, look, the mystery school, they teach us about Atlantis and Lemuria, so I can't really talk about what they tell me. But the thing is that I've been reading other things like by Rudolf Steiner and stuff like that, and it's very interesting. That's stuff I can talk about. So that'd be great to go into that. But then on another positive note, that the documentary, the 3 documentaries I produced and directed, one on African mermaids, another one called Clairvoyant, the Awakening, which is our consciousness and the awakening, and also our UFO documentary that me and you were the star of, man. Well, one of the stars.
Yeah,
there was quite a lot of people we interviewed in that, but Netflix, it got to Netflix. They've made an offer, and it's looking pretty good. So we just want to see what Amazon Prime come back and say, and then we'll make a decision what happens, where it goes. So looks like which also brings me to another thing, is that this last few weeks, like I've been doing a lot of stuff in the mystery school, like other classes, and like I did Sacred Geometry 2 and 3. And also I've just received my Reiki. I'm like a qualified Reiki practitioner now for Insophic Reiki, cool. Which is supposed to be the purest form of Reiki, the purest ray. It's called Insophic Ray.
It's energy healing, eh?
Yes, energy healing. So I mean, I never knew I was ever going to get into this stuff or whatever, but it just kind of, one thing led to the other, and I just kind of snowballed, and now all of a sudden I'm not qualified to do Reiki.
That's awesome. We must actually do a podcast on that. Maybe early next year we must do a podcast on that.
Yeah. So, and I can do, and we just finished yesterday actually, and there's how to do the distance Reiki healing. So if there's any listeners out there that want some distant Reiki healing, let us know.
Okay.
And then also
I heard something strange. Well, maybe you can tell me if this is true or not. But I was listening on Mysterious Universe. I think it was last week's episode. Some guy was healing people with an apple, so they've got to go and get an apple, and then he was healing them with apples.
Well, it's so funny that you say that, because I also listened to that one, and it's funny because I just did Sacred Geometry 3, right, which is which heals the 7 layers of your aura. In this class that I learned, and part of it is it's been handed down from the Egyptian through the mystery school, through the Egyptians, and that's it's an Egyptian healing. And you call on the gods and the goddesses of the Egyptian mystery schools, and they kind of hold the space where you do this healing, which is supposed to be fantastic for trauma. And once you've cleared out all of these things in your structure of your aura that's relates to any of this trauma that you've been going through in your life, then it brings in a lot more clarity in your life. You manifest a lot of things that are stuck that you've been trying to manifest. It flows more freely to you, and there's like a whole lot of health benefits and all of that. So anyway, so I went to go do this healing before I went to the class to see what it was about, and like I'm sitting there and I'm doing this healing, and it involves a potato, right? But it's to put all of the stuff that you go into, like all of the stuff, it has to go somewhere, so it goes into the potato, right? But I mean, I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this is by far like the dumbest thing I've ever done. Like, I mean, in respect to it, but like I was just saying, like, oh my gosh, what am I doing now? But the thing is, like on this whole spiritual journey and like all of this metaphysical stuff, I mean, the things that I've seen and I've done that I thought was so impossible through, like years ago, before any of this, I could even think about any of this. I thought it was all nuts. And then, so I have to I go in with an open mind, even though I think it's crazy, because I'm like, the other things that you believe were crazy a few years ago, that turned out to be real because you actually experienced it. So you just got to go with the flow here, man. So anyway, And it involves a potato. That's just so funny because then how's that for? We call it a synchronicity. Where we listen to that mysterious universe, and they bring up the healing with an apple, and I was like, okay, well, that's weird. But wait a second, I've just done a thing with a potato. But anyway, so like that was also before I did the. Because I was having troubles with getting the documentary sold to a platform, like a streaming platform. And, like even Amazon Prime were like, they were taking forever. And the guy like went on maternity leave, like all of this stuff was happening. And then so I thought, okay, let me try this potato healing thing. And also I'm going to do the class. So I went and did the potato healing. Well, it's not called the potato healing. It's a 7-layer.
That's fine. I know what you're talking about.
It's actually a very long name. I wish I had the manual to say the name, but so anyway, I did the healing. And I walked out of there. It's really like it's quite amazing. Like I walked out of there extremely drained. Like I had to sit for a while before I actually started driving home. And then the next day I had to drive like 3 hours to do this shoot. And I'm busy driving. And firstly I couldn't sleep. I woke up again at like 3 in the morning or whatever, and I had to start driving at 7. So I woke up at 3 and I couldn't sleep until 7. And I started driving, and I'm driving, and I started trying to think of this concept for a movie or whatever. And it got very sci-fi, and like I was thinking of all this stuff. And then all of a sudden I'm thinking, oh my God, this is actually related to my life. And I got so emotional. I started like basically crying, and I'm like crying from like,
crying for 3 hours.
I'm crying like there's a pass, Solari's Pass, and it goes over this mountain and there's a famous pie shop about 15 or 20-minute drive over the pass. So I'm like bawling my eyes out there. And I mean, the only reason I stopped crying was because I wanted to go get a pie at the pie shop. So I got the pie. And then I'm phoning Sanette, the lady that did the healing for me. I'm like, Sanette, what's going on here? Like, I got to get to work. I can't be rock up there crying like a baby and like looking like this. This is insane. What's going on? She's like, no, don't worry. You're just releasing whatever. So anyway, that night, the meeting with Netflix came about, and they made an offer. So
okay, awesome.
I think maybe, I don't know, the healing or whatever.
So the potato worked.
The potato worked.
Hey, gonna call you Mr. Potato Head from now. Shit.
So yeah, then I went to the class, and I was like, it's amazing. Now I know how to do that. So yeah, I mean, anybody want to put a 7-layer Egyptian aura healing, just contact me. I'll gladly do that for you. Anyway, so then I'm in this. Now I'm on the shoot, right? And we're shooting. There's a lady that's doing this organization. It's called Join Bands, Not Gangs. And she's she's teaching. She goes into the big problem with gangsterism in South Africa, like with drugs and I mean, it's another whole story to get into the whole gang thing. But now she's trying to teach them how to do music instead of becoming gangsters, right? So, and I've been on her shoots before. Like we go into these like really dodgy areas, and like we interviewing people, and then like I remember one time they were shooting. There was a whole shooting outside on the street. The gangsters were shooting each other. And we had to go inside and like sit in the house that we were filming at and just wait for it to all cool down before we like left. And I'm like shitting myself because I'm thinking I've got all this equipment. They can just like come here and just steal it all and kill us. So anyway, so now we drive and we go to this one gangster now that's like he's a what do you call it, a rehabilitated gangster. So I'm at his house and he's showing me across the way. He's like, there's where the drug drug lords live. They do the human trafficking there. Those are the gangsters there. They're all outside of their big cars and that. In this really dodgy place. And I'm like, I'm feeling really uncomfortable. But anyway, I've got to take him because we're going to do some B-roll of him on the beach and stuff. So now, like, I'm driving with him and he's telling me his life story. And he's telling me, like, that's why I want to get him on the show. Like, I'm hoping, like, our next episode, if we don't do Atlantis, we maybe interview this guy because he's just telling me, like, how he, like, when he was 12 years old, his cousin that was, like, really into gangsterism and stuff, like, it was telling him how, like, with a knife, like, where you must stab to kill people and stuff. So then he's, like, walking home and these other two kids come and steal his he went to the shops to buy some stuff and the kids stole the stuff from him. So he went home and he got a knife and he went there and he found the two guys and he stabbed these two kids to death.
Ish.
And then so he went to prison and then he got out of prison and then he killed, and then he became one of the numbers at 26, which is like, it's blood and money. Like they look after the money and they kill people in the gangs. Then he killed another 2 people, whatever, and then he went for quite a long sentence. And then he said, then he had this Jesus experience. It was like so profound. I mean, he was telling me, that's why I don't want to ruin it on this show. We'll get him. And it like changed his life. And he came out of there so like that now he's running a rehab center, not a rehab center, like a rehabilitation center for people that are paraplegic or quadriplegic. And like he went into the place that he runs, and I'm interviewing this. They're all people that are disabled from gangsterism. So like they've either been shot in the back, stabbed in the neck, whatever, that have severed all their things. So like, interviewing the one guy, and he's there and he's a quadriplegic, and he's like, father was killed with gangster, and his 2 brothers were killed with gangsterism, and he was shot in the back, and that's why he's a quadriplegic. It's a fascinating guy, but his Jesus story was so cool that I just thought, we have to have him on the show to like talk to him. But the problem is he talks really like this. He talks like us. I don't know, I don't know for international viewers.
Shot in the throat, maybe.
They probably don't even know what we're saying because of our accents. Now we're gonna have this guy going, "Oh, you're talking about." Because his one lungs collapsed because he smoked so much tick. He was a gangster, like ticks meth.
Yeah.
That is one lung collapse. So he like talks like us now. Anyway, so I thought we'd maybe have him on the show then.
So just a quick one before you move on there. Was he sitting behind you? So when you were driving, was he sitting directly behind you?
He wasn't.
I was going to say, so your third eye wasn't activated to be watching him.
The back now.
You got eyes in the back of your head, Daddy. Okay, yeah, cool.
But and then the next documentary that I've just been on the last few days was illegal diamond mining up on the Namibian border. So we went to the Namibian border, and like I'm filming these people that are doing like all these illegal diamond mines. They dig like 20 meters down. Then they get to the bedrock and they start digging like 16 to 30 meters along the bedrock. And then they live in these tunnels for like weeks. And then they shit and they piss in the tunnels. So it's very unhygienic. And then they're crawling on their hands and knees and they're scraping their arms. So then they're getting infected and getting gangrene in their arms. They're living in these conditions, and the tunnels collapse like all the time because obviously they don't have structures to hold the tunnels up properly. So then there's like, fatalities like weekly in those tunnels. And we're interviewing this lady that she's 35 years old. She's from Zimbabwe. And now she's traveled all the way from Zimbabwe to come and mine in these things to support her family. And I mean, you must check her. She's got like this electric like chisel thing. And I wish I could show you the video. Like she's down in these tunnels and she's just drilling away like in the most shittest conditions you can imagine. And she's 35, and I'm just thinking like, oh my God, like I know 35-year-olds that are sitting at home right now. They don't have a job. They're moaning how horrible their life is and how depressed they are and blah, and all this crap. And I'm just thinking this woman is like putting her life on the line. She's in the worst conditions. She's traveled all the way from Zimbabwe, like thousands and thousands of kilometers to dig in this mine. And I'm just thinking that the will for her to survive and her ambition and her will and her drive is just so incredible. And I was just so inspired, and I'm just thinking, like, people just do not have you don't have a right to complain. Like, if you want, she is making her life happen, and and I mean, even to get those diamonds sold on the black market, it's not like you can just go Google something like, hey, diamond, who wants to buy a diamond? You can't Google that stuff or find. She's found that thing, and I mean, she the one diamond she sold for 1.9 million rand. Which, I mean, I don't know how much. Sure. For dollars, you would have to divide that by 20 on the black market. And then she was showing me videos of the amount, like what 1.9 million dollars looks like, and she's showing the videos, and it's just like piles and piles of money. And then to get back to the Zimbabwean border, the people that buy the diamond from on the black market actually arrange like a squad, like a security vessel to take her, so she's safe to get to the. Then we interviewed this other guy, and he got a diamond, and he got paid only 260,000 rand, and he got so excited he went to KFC, and now he's like splurging. Now he's buying everybody KFC. He's going nuts. Like you imagine, like someone that's never had money before in their life. I mean, this guy's off the streets. Story is like so incredible. Like he's been living on the streets, whatever, and he found out that you can go dig for diamonds, and he making like, 10 rand a day. Now he's all of a begging. Now he's got all of a sudden 250,000 rand. This guy was going apeshit, like, just drinking. But then the cops found out and they went and they stole his money. But now he can't do anything because he's an illegal immigrant, illegally mining for diamonds. So the cops went and took his money, and now he can't get it back because they just like, well, you must fuck off back to your country, and also and obviously the cops just took it for their own money. And then also the lady that interviewed says that no, the cops come because she's got like a generator and a fucking chisel thing, and she's got a whole thing. They come there when they find them and they take all of the equipment. They take it, those cops, and then they sell it to the other illegal miners. So like there's a whole syndicate going there that the cops are involved, and they like stealing stuff from some of them and like selling it to the others. So I think she goes and finds a generator and her power tools at someone else. Well, they usually just use spades and shovels and like primitive things like that. But the cops also steal it. So it's just a fascinating story. Jeez, now we're halfway into this podcast. I haven't even got to opening up your third eye.
We'll open it now, man.
So anyway, so this podcast is supposed to be about opening your third eye.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I went to rehab, right? I was a terrible alcoholic and drug addict. Years of abuse, and obviously it was destroyed my life. So I had to sort it out. So anyway, so I sorted that out, and I got out. They put me on all these antidepressants, anti-anxiety pills, which was supposed to help, but I think it just kind of helped a little bit because I was feeling shit all the time. And I got terrified of death, which is funny because like I'm going through such a hard time. You think I'll just welcome it to be like, fucking just come, man. Like take me now because this is shit. But for some reason, I was so terrified of death, Lee. Like, it was so bad. I was actually even buying books and audiobooks and listening to them and reading like how to cope with how to deal with the fear of death, because my whole understanding of existence was that when we die, that's it. It's lights out, kaput. Like that's it. Our consciousness goes. It's gone. And it was making me so depressed because I just didn't understand what was the point of anything. It was like, what the fuck is the point of all of this shit? Like, we just made all of this up. We just made this money thing up. We just like everything, we just made it up, and it's just so stupid and it's pointless. Like, what is the point of it? Like, if we're all just going to die, and so I was battling with that for a while, and the books and the things didn't help at all. It's just a load of bullshit philosophy thing, and stuff like those self-help books that you look in the mirror and you say, I love myself, and those things don't work either, So then I started thinking, for some reason I was like getting these premonitions, or I don't know what it was, but I was having these thoughts that I was going to wake up. And I didn't know what I was going to wake up from. And I kept on thinking, like, oh my God, I'm going to wake up. I'm going to wake up. But what am I going to wake up from? And then this started like really giving me a lot of anxiety, because I was like, well, why am I thinking like this? What am I going to wake up from? What is going on? What? Then I started having these like ideas that maybe it's because the waking up means I'm going to die, and I'm just going to wake up. It's like telling me I'm going to die. So, and I was seeing a counselor every week, because after rehab, you see a counselor every week to see how you're doing and whatever. So like I picked up the courage because I thought I was going a bit nuts, and I just went in there and I told her, like, I'm just having these ideas that I'm going to wake up from something, and I don't know what it is. And she said to me, like, well, what's so bad about waking up? And this like freaked me out completely, because I thought, oh my gosh, I suddenly got like, my anxiety took over, and I started like having all these like imaginations, like, oh my God, she's in on this scheme, like she's actually part of this whole programming thing. Well, actually for a while I thought that like nothing was real around me, and I was going to wake up from this dream or whatever I'm in, So when she said that, I was like, oh my gosh, she's in on this. She's part of like the Matrix, like avatars that are like trying to bring me out of this like illusion that I'm in. And it was so frightening to me that I just broke down in like a absolute like a panic attack. Like I just started, crying in the office there, like, having a total panic attack. And then all she could say to me was like, you must go to you're the people that put you on the drugs, as the psychologist, the psychiatrist, or whatever, the lady.
Psychiatrist.
Go back to her and talk about your medication. Right? This is the advice I get. Right?
Sure. Okay.
So I leave there and I'm driving home and I have the most amazing experience of my life. I'm busy driving and I'm listening to this song and I'm looking at this mountain in front of me and I could see how the song was connected to the mountain. And then I just started realizing everything around me and how it was all connected. And I was like, and all the anxiety just left me, just completely dropped. And I just realized like everything was just in the perfect place that you could at the perfect time. And it was we all exactly where we are meant to be right now at this moment of time. And just everything just made sense to me. It was like so profound that I mean, obviously I can't explain it, but then I came out of it. It only lasted for like 2 minutes or I don't know how long, but I came out of it. And then I thought I was going crazy.
Yeah. But you actually had that experience from the same that an astronaut had. Remember on his way back to Earth?
Yeah, so something like that. Yeah, but I mean, like with all of my spiritual endeavors now, I realized maybe it was what Buddhism and Hinduism talk about as a state of samadhi, or like or like Buddhist monks have like those in a gamma brainwave state or whatever. So, but then I didn't really think much. I just thought I was going crazy. I was like, okay, that's it. I'm really nuts now. But it was such an amazing feeling, Lee, that I just like, if that is crazy, then just take me to the fucking nut house, lock me up, and just keep me there in that state forever.
Yeah.
So I didn't think of much of it then. So anyway, so I go on with my life, and then I'm in a terrible relationship, which I've been in a terrible relationship with every relationship I've ever had in my whole life. It's always been shit. That's why I'm just trying to heal myself to fucking, because healthy people do not attract crazy people. You don't see a healthy person. You see healthy people with healthy people and crazy people with crazy people. If you're crazy, you're going to attract a crazy person. You know what I mean? So like, obviously, I need a lot of working on to just sort myself out so I can have a decent relationship. Well, also relationships, you got to work on them. It's not like it's all what the movies make them out to be. But anyway, so I'm in a shit relationship again. Obviously, it's all my fault, according to her. And one of the main, well, not the main thing, but one of the things she was complaining about all the time was that I'm not present enough, which I found out later that that's 99% of a problem in every single relationship, that the female complains that the man is not present enough. That's just the thing. That's just like, it's just standard life rule. So anyway, so now I'm not present enough. So she says, you know what you need to do? You need to meditate, which is also coming from a woman that doesn't actually even believe in any spirituality, nothing whatsoever. Like, so she tells me you need to meditate. So obviously, codependent or people pleasing, and I just want to make the relationship work. I'm like, fuck, okay, well, I'm not going to meditate, okay, to make her happy. But also, I enjoyed the fantasy about meditation, like the romantic idea, like meditating, because it's quite like a trendy thing that was coming about now. So I thought, okay, well, maybe this will be cool. So anyway, so I go and I'm like, okay, I got to meditate every morning, every evening, and also like I'm in the film industry. So sometimes I got to wake up at like 4 or 5 in the morning, and so I'm thinking, how the hell am I going to meditate in the morning and evening? Not going to ever work, but I'll give it a go. Be an addict. Like I can't go to the bar and just have a beer. I got to have the straw run. So now if I'm going to meditate, I'm not going to just go and do this like a mindful meditation. I want the most strongest, potent meditation that you can find. Like I want the third eye explosion, Kundalini rocket, send me to another universe explosion. That's what I'm looking for. Now I'm scouring the internet about everything that meditation. I'm buying like all the meditation books and third eye things, and I'm looking for like I didn't come all this way to drink a light beer. I mean, like, I didn't, like, where's the crack? So like after reading like countless books on the third eye and Kundalini, I kind of just concoct this thing, like I kind of make a Frankenstein meditation, right? And
you designed your own.
And I bought the binaural beats. So like I got binaural beats, like for the viewers that don't know what binaural beats is, it's like it plays a frequency in this ear and a frequency in this ear, a different frequency, and then your brain kind of like
regulates it,
and then regulates it to a certain frequency in your head, and then it puts you into a theta or an alpha state, which is in the meditation state. And there's all the different brainwaves, but alpha and theta are the meditative ones. So it puts you in it. So now I'm doing this 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes in the evening, like religiously. But it's the greatest thing ever because like we just had a newborn baby. And now she's letting me do this meditation thing. So I'm like, it's the biggest escape. I'm just like, when I can't handle it anymore, I'm like, I'm going to go meditate. And I just go to my room and I just meditate. Right. And yeah, by this time we were in two separate rooms. And so I was meditating in the morning and the evening religiously, but also sometimes in the middle of the day, because if I just didn't want to deal with the baby and her, I'd just be like, I'm meditating, and then I'd just go and escape. It was a complete escapism for me. It was like, I got like addicted to it. It was just like, I didn't have to deal with life. I didn't have to deal with anything. I just had to just shut my eyes and do this thing for 30 minutes. And it was complete escapism. So I did it religiously for 3 months. Like also I said to myself in the beginning, I was like, I'm going to do this for a year. If nothing happens, I'm just going to give it up completely. I'm just like, I'll give it in a year. And if fucking nothing happens, that's it. I'm done. Never doing it ever again. So I sat there, and after 3 months, 3 months, like almost to the day, I'm busy sitting there doing this meditation. Basically, what it came down to is I just had to focus just focus my attention on my forehead. And I'd just try and find the tingling, or sometimes it would go like it would go get a pressure there, pressure. And I'll just keep focusing. Whenever my thoughts drift, I'll just come back to this sensation here. Then after a while, I started just imagining this energy going up my spine and just focusing it onto my forehead. And I'll just, like I'll do that for a while. I'll get the feeling of of this pressure in my forehead, and I'll do that for quite a while. And then I gradually started imagining energy going from the ground up my spine and into my third eye. And I noticed that after a while of doing this, it would make the pressure go harder. Like the sensation in my head the pressure would get so strong.
Feel like somebody's like putting like a thumb on your forehead and pushing down.
Yes, exactly. So that's the feeling. Like, and it was great because once I started feeling that, I knew, okay, great, and it would help me concentrate on that more. So whenever the thoughts came in, I could just come back to that sensation on my forehead. And then after 3 months of doing this, my body the one day just started vibrating like viciously, like I mean, I wasn't making that noise, but like my whole body was vibrating. And but it was so nice. I was just sitting there in this vibrational like state, like my whole body like vibrating intensely. And then also when I went to bed at night, every night, I would feel this light like buzzing through my whole body. Like every night. It was so nice. But then I also started to worry because I didn't read anything about this thing, and all the books I've read and all the research on this thing. I didn't hear anything about it. Before going to bed, you would feel buzzing and like a vibration throughout your whole body. So it actually started making me a bit worried because I was like, fuck, is this like the early onset of Parkinson's, or it's like I've got like a neurological disorder or something? What's happening? Like, is this good or bad? But it felt nice. I would lie there with this like slight, like fine vibration through my whole body, just lying at night. I'm so peaceful. Anyway, so then my body started swaying. Like every time I did the meditation, my body would just start swaying. Like, and it was the most amazing feeling. And then I would speak to other people about meditation, and they would be like, "That's bad. Do not do that." Like I'd speak to this guy's been meditating for like 30 years. He's like, "No, that's not right. You need to sit completely still. Stop doing that." But I'm like, fuck, this feels good, man. I'm loving this sway. It's so nice. And then also when I visualized the energy going up my spine to my third eye, my forehead, it would intense the swaying. The swaying would get more.
Is it a involuntary swaying, or was it just like
completely involuntary swaying? Like, I mean,
really,
look, if I concentrated and said, no, sit still, I would be able to sit still. I would like force myself, with my muscles or whatever back, or like, but if I completely relaxed and I just focused on it, it would just sway. It would just make me sway. Like there was nothing, I was not doing it. I could just sit there in complete relaxation and something was just swaying me.
Was it circular movements or just like
but that's the
side
thing.
to side?
That's the thing. Like I would like it. Sometimes would be circular, sometimes side to side, or sometimes back and forth. And then I would like tip it. Or like I would think, okay, now I would like could make it like, I don't know how to explain it, but like I could, like as soon as the movement goes, I could, if I leaned forward, then it would just rock me back and forth. If I leaned to the right, it would just rock me right, left to right. And then,
Can I tell you something there quickly?
yeah.
I spoke to someone many, many, many years ago when I was still doing karate, many years ago.
Yeah.
And there was a guy that was with me. We were busy on our black belt course. And he said to me that back in Japan, there was a guy that one of their masters, one of their senseis, he used to meditate with swaying. But with the swaying, after the swaying came levitation.
Okay. Well, so I'm going to get to what happened. Well, I
I
didn't
promise you
levitate.
that
I didn't
actually,
levitate, but
talking about that, it's actually a starting phase of levitation. You eventually start to levitate after that swing.
well, fuck, I
That's what
wish I
he.
kept going because I'm going to tell you the rest what happened. But that's exciting because okay, so then what happened, right? This is where it gets exciting. I was doing a documentary on this famous Afrikaans musician, and I was outside of PE, Port Elizabeth, about an hour drive from the airport, in this rural place where this musician lived, and I went to go interview him and his wife. And I had to get back to the airport. Like then my flight was the next day, but we had to travel an hour to get back to PE so I could get the airport the next day. And he said to us when we were leaving, it was me and my other colleague that was helping me with the documentary. He said to us, "Be careful on the road because there are lots of cows on the road at night, and it was getting
normal
dark.
South African roads. Yeah.
Yeah, it was getting dark. So and it's dangerous because you get killed. You drive into them on the road. So be careful of the cars on the road. And I had this image in my head of this car dead on the road and a vehicle there, and I saw it. And I'm driving along now with him, and then lo and behold, there is a car dead, and there's the vehicle on the side of the road. And I had this knowing like that I knew that was going to happen. Like it was like this intense
Premonition.
knowing that I saw that, and that I'd seen that, and then now it's coming to fruition. I can't like it's like this in knowing, like it was an innate knowing that was what I saw. But then my rational mind came in and said, "No, you idiot." He said you're going to see that there's cars on the road, and you just imagine there was a car there, and the car, and obviously now there's a coincidence that you've seen this car and the car, and now you're saying in your mind that you've actually made a premonition, like you've come to this conclusion when it was just a coincidence, and So then I said, okay, well, you know what? Well, I'm driving now, so like I'm just saying this in my head. I'm not saying it's my colleague or whatever. I'm just like, okay, well, if that is
You're talking to yourself, yeah.
Yeah, and also the car on the side of the road was getting help, by the way. So it's not like I just left the guy stranded there to die. So,
damn that, man.
so anyway, so now I can't drive, and I'm like, okay, well, if that was real, if I did see that like a premonition, and also like I'm not expecting anything out of this third hour meditation. I'm just like, so I'm not going like, oh my gosh, it's from the third hour meditation. I had nothing of that. I just saw that, and I just had this knowing that I'd seen it, and I didn't even then I still didn't relate it to the meditation. And then I said, if that was real, what am I going to see in the town when I get there? So we carry on driving, and we get to the town. Oh yeah, so then this image of orange, like a square, it's orange, square orange, and it says orange. And this is the image I get in my head, and I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm looking for something orange in this town. So I get to the town, and I don't see anything orange. And then the next day, I get back to Cape Town, still haven't seen anything orange. And I take my daughter out on this boat ride in the harbor, and we go past this boat, and on the side of the boat, about 2 stories big,
yeah,
there's orange square. Underneath it says orange. And that is like that's the company. It's a cell phone company.
Cell phone company from overseas, yeah.
Orange. So I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. So then in my meditation that night, I'm like, okay, cool. What am I going to see tomorrow? So I get like a purple face mask, like a purple mask with these purple feathers coming out of the top. And then I see these checkers, orange and blue checkers, like a flannel shirt kind of checkers thing.
Okay.
So like I go, and I'm shooting a documentary on birthing or whatever, and I'm like, I'm at this midwife, which is the dude, his house. And I'm talking to him, and there's this bright light at the left of my eye. When I'm talking to them, I just keep on seeing this bright light just coming into my vision on the left, and it's like distracting me. But I'm trying to talk to him, and eventually I'm like, okay, well, what's this bright light? So I look to the left, and then behold, on the wall on the left is this purple mask with the feathers coming out of the top, and I'm like, wow, that is amazing. Well, what about the orange and blue checkers?
Yeah,
like look up.
You didn't cock yourself like, oh shit.
No, it was exciting. And then I looked up at the
Okay.
top. I looked up across the wall, and there was this this picture of a boy in a boat, and he's wearing an orange and blue checkered shirt. I'm like, wow, this is cool. So like the next night, or that night, I'm like, okay, what am I going to see tomorrow? Then I see a spider, and I'm like, oh, a spider. I'm not going to see any. You can just see a spider anyway. So now I'm like, now I'm like looking for these things. I'm like, okay, spider, which makes it worse because I'm thinking, okay, well now, because I'm seeing the thing and now I'm looking, I'm obviously going to see whatever I'm going to see, like, because the coincidence is raised even.
So make it your own coincidence.
Yeah. So now I'm looking around for the spider, and now the next day I'm shooting a documentary on the wines of South Africa. Now I'm in this guy's palace. It's like another palace, a massive house. And it's so fancy. And I'm like in the house and I need to take a piss. So I'm like, I go to the toilet and I like open up this door, and all the room is just covered. The whole toilet is covered in just frames of pictures. But right in front of me above the toilet is a picture frame about like I don't know, like a half a meter by half a meter, like this huge picture frame. And right in the middle is a spider that's about the size of my face, like in this picture frame. And I'm like, oh my God. But anyway, so that's just, it just went on like this for days after days after. I was just like so enthralled by this thing. I'm just like, oh my gosh, like every single day. And I mean, I could give you thousands. It just went on and on and on and on. And it actually made me like start wondering, like, what is like, is everything determined for us? Or is it like the amounts of karma or whatever, the patterns in my life, like, they've come to this point is like so predictable, and whatever this like the calculation of the matrix is showing me these images that it knows like what's like that's going to happen in the future. Like is everything predetermined? Do we have actually any free choice? This is the questions I started asking myself, because it got to the state. Like, I mean, like I'd see an anvil. Like I'd be like, okay, what am I going to see tomorrow? An anvil, and I've never seen an anvil in my whole life. Then the next day, I like walk into a workshop. And there and behold, right in front of me as I walk in is an anvil. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's not a regular thing, man. Anvils, you got to go into blacksmith workshops to see those things. And you went to what workshop did you go to?
It was a guy out in Oudtshoorn on his farm. He like makes knives, like his own knives, and like But I didn't know that he made his own knives. Like I was out there. I was filming a documentary on mermaids, on my mermaid documentary, and then I just saw this like fucking anvil there. I mean, and it's like it always happened the next day. It was like I would be like, what am I going to see the next day? And it always happened, flourishing every single day. And I never had a day that it didn't appear, whatever I wanted to see.
And in this period, were you meditating daily, twice a day?
Yeah, every day. But then,
really,
okay, so but I mean, this is the extent that it got to. Like, I would be looking for a Airbnb on my phone for where I was going to stay, like that night, or the following day. Where I was going to say the following day for where I was traveling for my shoot or whatever, and then I'd be like for 15 minutes, like, because I'm like quite picky. I want like a nice place and looking at the price, and I'm like, I keep going back and forth, and I'm choosing like 15 minutes, so indecisive because I'm so indecisive, and eventually I'm like, fuck it, I'll just take this one, and then I'll just click on that one, and then I go there the next day. So like the day before, that night before, like I saw this fountain with like all these like mosaic patterns, like this green and blue, this beautiful fountain. So I'm sitting there for 15 minutes, like trying to find this place to stay. Eventually, looking through all the 20 places I could choose. I eventually choose one, and I go there, and I rock up there. And as I walk in, there's the fountain. There it is with all the mosaic, and the fountain's there. And I'm like wondering, like, okay, well, why did I go through all of that? Like, I'm so indecisive, like trying to choose some place to go. Like, this is this is the factor of where the path of my choices in life could have split. You know what I mean?
And it knew you were going in that direction.
It knew that I was going to get there, but I had to go through all of that indecisiveness. And what was the point of that? If like it knew the intelligence or my, whatever you want to call it, high power, fucking my intuition or God or something was telling me, I don't know what it is, but it knew that I was going to be there, but I had to go through all of that indecisiveness to try and, so that's what really my question was like, is it predetermined, our destiny and everything? Do we actually have free choice? Like, because I was going to go there anyway. So this amount of time deciding, like, I don't know if I'm making my point.
No, you're making 100% sense. So I've always had this opinion that we're living in the past. I think we've already made decisions, and these decisions that you're seeing is something that's already happened. So if it's already happened, we're living in the past. I've always thought that. I don't think currently, and this is my opinion, I don't think that the decisions that we make are the decisions that we think we're making. They've already been made by us in the future.
Yeah, sure. Like that theory of everything's happening, or everything in the past, present, everything is actually all happening at the same time. Anyway, so now this is amazing. I'm so excited about this, but now it's a danger, because like now I know that this is real. Now I know that there's something beyond us, that like this, it's kind of woo-woo stuff, whatever you want to call it. I know it is real. It's a fact in my life. I know it's completely and utterly 100% real. But now I'm so excited. I'm like, okay, if that's real, now fuck it, I want more. The addict comes out of me. I'm like, fuck it, now I want everything. I want levitating. I want fucking out of body experiences. I want to fucking shoot lasers out of my eyes. I want everything. So now I'm like, because I've started reading about out of body experiences, and obviously we did a previous episode on that. So if anybody wants to listen, to go back and listen to that. So now I just want to have an out of body experience, because I'm thinking, fuck, if that thing's real, now this out of body experience must be real, and that sounds like the bee's knees of like
abilities.
But also, you know, and then all of the Hinduism philosophies, the Buddhism, like everything, they always say like, all the Eastern things, they're like, that is the circus. Do not get caught up in the circus. You just got to get to the goal, which I'm thinking, what is the goal? Enlightenment, what is it? You feel great. What's the goal? If you want to call it not the goal, but, you know, don't get distracted with these things along the way, because it's not the point. It's just a circus, you know? That's like Sadhguru, like when I used to follow him and I got initiated into Shambhavi Mudra Kriya, which I did excessively for over a year, every morning, every evening, nothing happened to me. But then he also said that he's going to firewall any occult. So then that's why, okay, well, I'll get into that after this. But so now I'm like Harbin, I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to have an out of body experience, you know? So I'm reading all the out of body experience books. I get the out of body binaural beats, not the ones that we were trying, the Gateway Experience by Monroe Institute.
YouTube ones.
It was another one.
Yeah.
So I bought that one, and now I'm doing all the meditations. I read all the books, and now I'm just doing all of these at night. I'm just concentrating. But then my swaying stopped because I've changed the binaural beats. The meditation is different because I'm doing out of body experience meditations and not the third eye. So the swaying stopped. The vibrating in the evening stopped. Seeing anything is stopped. And I was like quite bummed. I was like, fuck it, you know, like that's quite sad that. But the thing is, I didn't know that it could go further. I just thought, okay, that's probably what I get, you know, but I want more. So if I just stayed on that path, I would have probably been able to fucking astral travel anyway.
Yeah, of course.
But
you actually, it sounds like you found the key, dude, because I mean, I know you said you did a Frankenstein type of meditation where you just mixed a whole lot of things together, but you actually did. It sounds like you've actually found something that a lot of people have been struggling with.
But so this.
I mean, I struggle a lot with meditation as well, but that's actually, you must actually tell us how. Look, before we get into, you must actually tell us how you did it. You know, do you sit cross-legged? Do you lie down?
Okay,
you know, do you have special breathing techniques to do?
I'll get into all of that as well. So, and it's very simple. When you hear it, you're going to be like, oh my God, I've actually explained most of it anyway. But the thing is, so now I'm on a mission. I'm thinking, okay, if that did that, I want, I'm searching for the strongest meditation, but so then I start trying every meditation. So like I'm doing 6 months of like transcendental TM meditation. Then I go on those 10-day retreats for doing Vipassana, you know, sitting for 10 hours every day for 10 days in complete silence, not talking to anybody. I do that for 10 days, and I carry on for 6 months doing Vipassana every morning, every evening. I'm doing the Joe Dispenza's meditations. I'm doing Sadhguru Shambhavi Mudra Kriya meditations. But I try for like 6 months every time. And I'm trying all of these meditations. I'm doing love meditations. I'm fucking, you name it. I tried everything because I'm thinking, I'm trying to find something that's the strongest, you know? And then I read Patanjali's book, the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali's. And, you know, he's obviously the guy that brought yoga. He took all the Sanskrit things of yoga and translated it and brought it back to India and to the West and or not to the West, but, you know, he brought all of those teachings alive again. So, and in that book, he says, which, I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff in that book. Maybe we'll do another episode on it. But in that book, he said, which the main thing I took away from the book was that stop digging little holes everywhere and just choose one hole and dig until you get to the water. So now I'm running around fucking digging all these little holes, trying out all these meditations and not just taking one and just sticking with it and just going. And that's the thing. If I just stuck with that one that I started with, it also reminds me of The Alchemist, because, you know, The Alchemist, the book The Alchemist, it's like the guy who goes on that long journey, like through all of the craziness, and when he
to come back home
to find the treasure that he was looking for was actually by the tree where he started. Spoiler alert. But like, you know,
but the whole journey was actually a good thing because it actually gave him knowledge and understanding about the world, which he didn't have previously. So that was the whole thing.
That's the thing. Maybe with all of this, all these different things. Look, I had some other cool things, experiences. I mean, like with doing Vipassana, because I'd also do Joe Dispenza's breathing technique where you know, it's like in yoga and what's called Eastern philosophy is called a bandha lock. You like squeeze your intrinsic muscles and you suck in air while you're squeezing the intrinsic muscles, your stomach muscles, then your upper abdomen, and then you envision the energy going up into the top of your head and you hold the bandha locks tight. It's also supposed to activate your Kundalini energy in that. So I was doing that like a little bit before I did Vipassana.
And I think that just to clarify quickly, Kundalini, I think a lot of people don't understand Kundalini to do with the spine, the snake and the spine. Just maybe explain that quickly.
Well, so it's supposed to be like your divine energy is all curled up at the bottom of your spine by your root chakra. And if you activate that energy, it's supposed to. Some people call it the divine Christ energy. But sometimes it's so powerful that it could burn out all of your nodes. There's like little other energy, like vessels that go off into your energy body or in your whole nervous system. If you activate it, not if you don't do it correctly and safely, you could have severe physical, psychological, mental, spiritual, like mayhem. Like that's why a lot of people, when they don't practice yoga right, and when I talk about yoga, I'm talking about the 8 limbs of yoga, not because Western civilization, we take yoga and we think of asanas, which is like a position you sit in, and it's actually just become an exercise. It's not actually anything really, it's just exercise. But you just stretch your body into ridiculous positions. But that's supposed to actually just put you into a state where you can actually meditate. And if you practice the 8 limbs of yoga, that's where you get the full benefit instead of just doing an asanas all day. But all of those things are to prep your body so that the Kundalini, when it rises, it is safe and you can have the most divine experience of your life where you connect with the God energy and one with everything and have the most profound spiritual experience of your life probably. But if you're not doing the 8 limbs of yoga, you're not practicing, pranayamas, special breathing techniques and yoga and eating correctly, and it will destroy you. So you got to be very careful. And then that's also another thing is that, like, what I love this example is that, when you, in the old days, when they burn torches, they dip the rag that's on the end of the stick into kerosene, and they light it, and if the kerosene's pure, that thing will burn all night. But if it's not pure, it'll burn that rag, and within like 30 minutes, it'll be gone. So that's why. That's the Kundalini energy. If you don't purify your body and your energy systems and everything correctly and properly, the energy channels and the pindinga and I can't remember all the words, but that energy activates and you're not purified enough, it could have devastating effects on everything. I mean, that's why people, when they have a bad Kundalini experiences, they go into mental institutions because they can't actually handle the experience because they see different realities, they're seeing different dimensions, they're seeing spirits, they don't know what's real anymore, they're fucking, out of it. As well as like people, their whole nervous system gets burnt out because it's like the energy they can't handle it. So anyway, so it's that's why all these yogis and mystics and all of they all so very vague and flippin' irritating when you want to find out how to do it, and it's like they never want to tell you because they make it so vague and so but also
you watch for an hour and you're like, where the hell has this got to the point, man?
I know, but that's also the thing is that it's all different from everybody else. So they can't actually make a recipe just for one person. So like, you got to do this because our energy systems are all different. So, so they've got to actually judge. That's why you need to find a proper guide or like a mentor that they can see, okay, this guy needs to do more of this or a little bit more of that or less of this and that because your fire element, water element, whatever, this thing's more than that. And they have to balance everything out. You know what I mean? So we're all different with upbringing. We're completely all over the place in different ways. So they need to find out what to do properly so it's safe. That's why you can't just go on a internet recorded course that they've pre-recorded on how to do it because it'll probably kill the one person but enlighten the other person and make the other person crazy and do nothing for the other person. You know what I mean? So now, through all the books that I've read, right, this is the book that, I'm holding it up here so that if we ever get this
Samuel Sagan, Awakening the Third Eye. Yeah.
So now I've been reading this book lately because like I thought, like that's the meditation that that really worked for me. I mean, look, it could, somebody could just do Vipassana and get the same result. I don't know. This one worked for me. So
yeah.
But it's so cool. I mean, like everything in here, it says everything, like how to see auras, how to do dowsing, to even out-of-body experiences, which is, this one is complicated. Oh my gosh, when I read this
is that all part of the Third Eye Awakening, all of those abilities?
Yeah, but in the beginning, they actually tell you the meditation, that the main meditation, which is the Third Eye Awakening. And it's great because I tried it, and the sensation, because the one that I tried, the one that I was doing, you get this tingling and the pressure in my forehead the quickest. Like it's like this throat thing. You got to it's like a throat breathing.
Breathe in and out.
It's called friction in your throat. So when you breathe in, this is what it sounds like.
So like a smoker's breath.
Yeah, but you got to get the air right at the back of your throat so you can feel it going in and out right at the back of your throat. You can feel it
vibrating
like a friction on the back of your throat.
Yeah, I tried that, but I found it gets itchy quickly. The throat gets so itchy, you got to keep coughing.
That's the thing that you got to try to get it back further in your throat then. And so anyway, you do that until you start feeling like 10 minutes in your throat there, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And so you can feel a sensation in your throat. Then you put you concentrate on your forehead. Well, they say between your eyebrows, between your eyebrows. Yeah. And then once you've got that going and there's the sensation there, then you connect the throat. You keep breathing like that, by the way, the whole time. And then you connect the friction in your throat to the third eye, that sensation in your forehead. And you keep doing that. And that I found, even when I have started to try and practice my other first meditation I ever did to try and get that sensation on forehead, this brings the sensation quicker, like really quickly. And it can make it really intense. So I think if anybody wants to go on that journey, get the book. That's Third Eye, I think is worth a go because that pressure in the head comes quicker than my made up one that I did. And also another thing about sitting in a cross-legged position on the floor. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
So and the mystery school explained, okay, so in my experience, I was just sitting in a chair when I did that third eye thing, and I had the most amazing success with it. And then since then, all the other meditations I've been doing was cross-legged. I've been trying to sit in like the lotus thing, I've been trying to, do the legs.
Uncomfortable.
And I mean, going on those 10-day meditation retreats, like that was torture because like your back and your legs hurt so much. I don't even think I think it actually like takes away the point of actually being there because it's like I feel I'm not even in a meditative state anymore. I'm just trying to cope with this pain. which is like absolute torture. So unless you've gotten over all that pain of doing like that 10-day thing 20 times, and now you go there and you can actually sit there through the whole thing for 10 days without having the pain, then I think maybe you're going to have some success. But so in my experience, the chair is the way to go. You just sit on the chair with your spine must obviously be erect, like as straight as possible. And also in the mystery school, it explains to you why it's better to sit in the chair. It's like got some metaphysical things that obviously I can't talk about, but
no, which is fine.
But so
that's cool. You're right there. I think that is the best way to do it.
So that's the best. Just sit in a chair. Don't go cross-legged. And then also the reason why people say you got to sit on cross-legged, or one of the thoughts is that because you got to earth yourself, so you want to have as much of your body on the floor as possible. So that's why you sit in a cross-legged. But I just think that 3,000 years ago, whenever yoga was invented, they didn't have flipping chairs. So that's why they sat like that. So,
around the campfire there.
so that's it's like we've got chairs now. Let's just sit in the chair.
Sit in the bloody chair. But it also makes. I know there were one of the parts they said that when you're sitting with your hands, your palms must be facing up.
Yeah, so that's like they're supposed to receive the energy from. It's just like a receiving position. So you're like accepting, to say I accept the energy. It's supposed to like the energy from above can be transmitted into your hands, so you can receive it into your body. That's why you put your hands up like that. Yeah. So
well, do you know? Actually, I know. Always in the Eastern traditions, Hinduism, Buddhism, Taoism, the third eye is prominent. It's a huge thing, and people think it's always the Eastern thing. But if you actually look closely, it's in the Jewish Kabbalah as well. It talks about there's a mention, and there's something that they wear. It's called a tefillin, I think it is. The Jewish men from the ages of 13 and up, the Orthodox Jews. There's like two boxes. It's two boxes. I think it's called a tefillin. You wear one box on your non-dominant arm. So for me, it would be my left arm, and then you wear one on your forehead. Okay, and there's a parchment inside these boxes that's supposed to be some sort of awakening. It gives you some sort of knowledge, and obviously we know that area there is where the third eye is. And if you go back into, I think it was Numbers. I think it was Numbers. In the Old Testament, which would obviously be the Torah, there is a prophet. So he's a wicked prophet, but a prophet by the name of Balaam. You might have heard the story when you were younger. This is the guy that beat his donkey because they didn't want to move.
Oh yeah.
There was an angel that was standing in front of the donkey and didn't want to move.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so he was pretty wicked. Like he would curse. So armies would hire him, and he would go and curse the other army, and then these guys would win. And he apparently his powers were immense. He had immense power. And there's actually mention of when the angel spoke to him, God opened up his eyes, but in a way that he could see visions. Okay, so it's not your physical eyes, because eyes can only see three-dimensional. We can see physical things. He could see metaphysical things, which means his third eye was awakened. You know what I mean? And he then blessed Israel after a couple of incidents that happened with him. But that shows you that his third eye was awakened. There was a story about Shiva and Karma. Karma is actually a god from one of the Hindu myths. And it's actually lust is one of the things that Karma is a god of. And he shot Shiva in the heart with an arrow. And Shiva got a bit pissed off and blasted him with his third eye. But that's actually a metaphor to do with lust, to do with one's inner lust. And he was able to burn it, his inside lust, because he wanted to improve himself. So it's more of an inner thing. So apparently the talking about your guys, that's how the clear vision, and this guy, Alfred Bayer, he was talking about the third eye being a metaphysical eye, although it is kind of connected to the pineal gland and the endocrine system. It is a metaphysical eye. It allows you to see the gateway to the other realms. Once you've unlocked that, you'll be able to interact with the other realms. And I know that, if you go look in the Bible as well, I think King Solomon was able to do that. There were quite a few biblical guys that were able to do that. So they obviously had awakened their third eye. Which look, obviously we talk about third eye awakening, so I just thought that was quite interesting.
Yeah, that's great. That's very cool. I love it. Yeah, that's just another disclaimer that, I mean, if someone's going to go do this, I mean, the literature all says that, that that you will start seeing. I mean, like, I only saw like images from the next day or whatever, but like maybe if I were carried on, apparently it actually attracts non-physical entities to you. I don't know if it does that or if you just become aware of them. I don't know. Like that's what I'm always like. Whenever I hear that, I'm like, yeah, does it really attract them, or does you just become?
No, I think you become aware of it. I think you're right. Yeah, I think you
them.
become aware of it.
So like maybe, I mean, so people want to get into this. Just I mean, I'd love to see that. I'd say that until it gets dark, and then I'm like, okay, no, I don't want to see that anymore.
but actually, talk about that in the book. This one that I was reading, also Awakening the Third Eye by Alfred Bayer. He actually says, be careful because you are going to see negative entities. You're going to. There's not even a chance that you're going to miss them. You're going to see them.
Yeah.
But this is what terrifies people.
Yeah.
Seeing the negative entities.
And I also talking about a terrifying thing, because I know, like in our last episode or a few back, we talked about having out of body experiences, and when me and you've been listening to the Gateway soundtrack, was it binaural beats to try and have it. The last few days, I've actually, because I've been so busy with shooting and the classes and the mystery school and that, like, and there's so many rituals and stuff I have to do now before I go to bed. I'm just like, so like, fuck it, now I'm going to listen to the binaural beats. But last night, I wasn't even listening to them. I woke up at 4 again last night. And it was at 4 o'clock on the dot. And I got back to bed. And then the thing I was describing to you in the last, I don't know, 2 episodes ago, that
vibration.
I hear something in the room or something, and then I get terrified, and then I'm out.
Yeah.
But I just like, I don't know if it's, if people want to listen to it, go back and listen to it. But it happened to me again last night. I wasn't even trying the binaural beats. I wasn't even doing the visualizations for the out of body experience. I just was at 4 o'clock. I woke up. I was like, oh, for fuck's sakes. And then it was trying my hardest to go back to bed. I went to bed, and then I just heard something in the room, like this fucking, like something like rustling or something. And I was like, oh, fuck, there's something in the room. And I got that terror again, that absolute terror. And then I was out. And then the frustrating thing again is that I can't see anything. It's like it's dark, and like I can't move. I'm like, go to the door, do this. And I can't do anything. And I'm like, and it's just so frustrating, because like, I don't know. And then I don't even know if I'm actually having an out of body experience or not, because it's like I can only get so far, and then nothing. It's like, so. But anyway, then I just thought, let me just wake up. So then I woke up, and then I had tingling all over my body, like my whole body was tingling. And then I realized, okay, something did happen, because of all the literature. It always says when you come back to your body, you'll have tingling in your body. So I just got to figure out how the fuck to like see and to move. I can't move. Dude.
So you remember the last time you said you need to say vision clear?
Yes.
So
I didn't say vision clear, but I was like, go to the door. Go to the door.
Yeah.
Because I thought maybe I went to the door, I'd see. But then it's also weird, because
vision
like,
clear.
I can't think of everything. It's like, I don't know, it's like I get to the States and I'm like, I don't know.
You're too overwhelmed with what's going on.
Or like, and I'm trying to think quickly, like, okay, what to do quickly. It might have to end. But that's also funny, because I remember in William Buellman's book, I don't know what it was called, Out of Body Experiences, or whatever his book was called. He would say the same thing, because he would leave a pencil on his bedside table. So when he came out of his body, he would try and push it off the table. But then when he was out of body, he was like, fuck the pencil, I'm fucking crazy. And then he would just fly out of his room, and he would just go on an adventure, and he would forget about the pencil. Yeah.
Yeah. So now, okay, so let's get back to this third eye. So, all right, so how do you do it? So first of all, you find yourself like a comfy chair where you can sit upright.
You got to get into a bad relationship. You got to have a baby. Then,
these are the prerequisites.
you got to be a people pleaser, and you got to be
an alcoholic. You have to have alcoholic at some stage.
You have to gone through alcoholism. Come out. You have to be on antidepressants and anxiety pills.
Yeah.
You mustn't have sex for ages. I'm just joking. I'm just saying that's what happened.
About a year and a half, 2 years maybe.
Yeah. But masturbation is okay. There was that. But there was no sex. because it was my bad relationship. So maybe those yogis are right when they said don't have sex, because that's also like one of the 8 limbs of yoga is abstinence. So like you can't have sex because apparently that stimulates the sexual energy that's in your root chakra. It's supposed to be part of the Kundalini energy.
Okay.
Then it starts rising because there's so much of it built up. That's apparently the philosophy of that. But I don't believe in that.
From abstinence.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
maybe this is why the Catholics actually got into abstinence originally.
Yeah,
maybe that was the original idea. Maybe that was the original idea.
Okay,
but
I'm just joking about that, guys. Like, I'm just making a joke. I was just in a shitty relationship. I wasn't getting laid, so I was trying to make a joke. Go and have as much sex as you want. I'm sure it's going to be the same, but you'll be fine. So, okay, another thing about that Kundalini experience, when I was doing the Joe Dispenza bundle locks, where you suck in your perineum, like that muscle, but it's like cutting off the poop when you like at the toilet and you want to like squeeze in your bum, so you
okay, right.
That's you're squeezing your perineum.
You squeeze your sphincter.
Squeeze your sphincter and your pee muscles. That's your
okay.
They give it a fancy name. Your perineum muscles.
Okay.
You squeeze that, and then you squeeze your stomach muscles and your upper abdomen muscles, and you sit in meditation. This is the Joe Dispenza the way to activate the Kundalini energy. And when I was doing that, because I did that for about 3 months, like 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes in the evening, I got so sexually aroused. Like, I promise you, Lee, people are having problems getting it up, or like sexual drive. Do that for 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes in the evening, and you'll be fine. Because like I was so sexually charged. That's what made me think, okay, maybe this Kundalini energy with the sexual energy is a thing. Because I was ready to just hump the table, the flipping.
Okay, so that's the cure for ED. Thanks, Will.
There you go. Just do Joe Dispenza's breathing thing, and you'll be well on your way.
So, and how do you breathe? So, if you're doing that, do you just breathe normally, or what's the story?
Oh, the Joe Dispenza one.
Yeah. So if you're tightening everything, how do
you breathe in slowly? While you're breathing in, you start squeezing your perineum. So you through the nose.
Through your nose. Okay.
And you start pulling in your perineum. Then then once that's locked, then you pull in your stomach, lower abdomen, and while you're still breathing in, and then you lock the next one. But at the same time, you envision energy coming out from your bottom of your spine up. So from the first lock to the second lock to the top abdomen lock, squeeze that in, and you keep sucking in air until the energy you visualize it to the top of your head, and then you just hold. Okay. You just hold it. You hold your awareness at the top of your head while you're holding your breath, and you're squeezing these muscles. And you squeeze them hard. You squeeze them until you can't breathe anymore. I mean, until you have to take a breath. And then you take in a breath. And then you just sit there for a few seconds while you just chill out. And then you do it again. And you just carry on doing that for 10 minutes. Anyway, Joe Dispenza third eye meditation. He does that only 4 times in the middle of because I also tried that out. That you just focus your attention in the middle of your head, because like there's so many different theories of where the third eye is. Some say it's in the middle of your head. Some say it's in the middle of your eyebrow. Some say it's in the middle of your head by your pineal gland. Right. So like now they're all telling you to focus in all these different areas. So the one with Joe Dispenza is you focus in the middle of your head at the pineal gland. That's what his one is. But in the middle of the meditation, you do that. There's a few other things you got to do. You buy it. You can get online, and in the middle, you do the bundle locks that I was describing, that breathing. That's his pineal gland meditation. But the breathing thing, I just did that on my own. But the thing is, Lee, that's no joke, dude. Like I did that. And they say that it unleashes all the emotions in your lower abdomen, which like your fear, anxiety, anger, and resentment, everything's kept there by your liver and all that.
All the negative.
Yeah. So it's supposed to bring that up into your head. Now, I promise you, Lee, I did that for a few months, every morning, every evening, before my other meditations. And I went through hell. Like, well, firstly, I was horny as a fuck. Like, I could just hump, I was ready to hump the first person's leg I saw on the street. But, like, the thing is, the emotional turmoil that it put me in, I got so depressed, Lee. I went into such depression. I was like, and I didn't actually know what was wrong with me for a while. I was like, oh my God. And I'd just come off all my, I didn't just come off, sorry. I'd been off my medicine for like my antidepressants and anxiety pills for a few months now, like maybe 6 months or so. And I just thought, oh my God, what the fuck? This is all coming back. Oh my God, I'm fucked. I got to go back on the meds. I got to go back on my meds. Then I stopped then I realized, okay, maybe, and I emailed them and they said, no, just stop doing it because because I thought maybe it's that. I stopped doing it and it went away. Well, not immediately, but it subsided and it went away. And I thought, okay. And then I thought, okay, well, maybe it wasn't that. I'm always like, skeptical. I'm like, is it that thing? Is it not that thing? What the fuck? Like I can never know. I wish I could just, maybe I should just learn how to do muscle testing or diving or something to ask these questions. So then I did it again. And the same thing happened, Lee. I went into emotional turmoil. Outrageous horniness came back. So that thing works, right? And also then I was doing Vipassana on top of that. And the Vipassana, when I did Vipassana after that, the sensations in my body were so intense. Like I was having an orgasm through my whole body. Like it was like I had to even stop sometimes because I couldn't actually take the amount of like insane sensations I was feeling in my body. But I contribute that to the Joe Dispenza breathing. But the thing is, like, I'm so sure because I actually should have went on for longer. Maybe something profound would have happened. But the sensations were really too much. Like I had to stop doing it. Well, not completely, just stop that in those meditations. And then I'll do it again in the evening or the next day or whatever. So, okay, so sorry, back to how I did the meditation. So basically just sit in my chair like this, just sit there and you concentrate on your third eye. And once you start building the pressure in your third eye and you can feel the pressure or the tingling or whatever, you just do that for like a few weeks, right? So just sitting up straight in the chair and with binaural beats, with found ones that bring you into theta or ones that stimulate the pineal gland. I had the Vex.
And which frequency are we looking? Are we looking at the same frequencies I mentioned last time?
I did the Jill Wexler. I think it was Jill Wexler, her third eye one. It's actually a whole brain sync. It brings your whole brain to synchronization or whatever. So I did that one. And I just did 30 minutes in the morning. Well, the track's 30 minutes, the binaural beat, so it's easy. You just know when it's over, the track's over, you finish your meditation. And then when the sensation after a few weeks got really strong, then I would start directing the energy up my spine from the ground up through the bottom of the spine, up into in the middle of the head, and one was in my, so it would be a breathe in to the top of my head, into the middle of my head where the pineal gland was. I'd breathe in, sucking in the energy, pineal gland, and then when I breathe out, I'll just focus that energy straight onto the middle of my forehead. And then when I felt that was like making it more intense, the sensation, then I knew that I was onto something. But you've got to be careful, because what I realized is that while you got to be completely relaxed, you have to like make sure there's no tension in your body. So sometimes, even now and then, you just got to check. You got to go through your feet, your legs, your knees. You got to scan your body and make sure everything's relaxed. And you got to go, even if you just think in your mind, like just relax, like each body part. And then the main thing, your forehead, because what I noticed is that sometimes I would want the sensation to come, so I'd start concentrating and I'd like make my eyes squint like this with my, and then the sensation I was feeling was actually muscles tensing on my forehead because I'm
frowning.
Frowning. So you got to be careful. You got to make sure you're not doing that so you can feel that sensation. And then the other thing is, do not point your eyes up into that
eye strain,
because that's another Kundalini. That's another Kundalini. Not a Kundalini, sorry. Well, with Kundalini meditations and third eye meditation, there are some that say you got to point your eyes up into your forehead. But this one I didn't. I didn't do that. So don't do that. Or if you want to do mine, you can do whatever you want. Do fucking whatever. But
no, but I think you're out there, because that causes eye strain, because then you're not relaxed. Your eyes are actually straining to see up in the middle of your head.
Yeah, because that's actually Shambhavi. And that's actually, they say that does direct the energy from your spine up there, but I didn't do that. So, and also I've done Shambhavi, Mudra Kriya, which is Shambhavi with a whole bunch of other stuff thrown in there with Sadhguru. And I did that for a year and a half almost, and nothing happened. But anyway, so look, and I did that religiously twice every day, like religiously. I would not miss it. If I had to go on a plane ride and I had to catch the plane at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I had to be at the airport by 4, and I'd get up at 2 to do it, to get ready by 3 to leave by 4. Anyway, so this is also what's pretty cool. This is a Muse headband. I don't know if you've seen this. A Muse headband. A Muse headband. I don't know, for people that are not watching a YouTube thing, if we actually ever get this out on YouTube, let's begin the slack with it. But this Muse headband, this is so cool. Check, I even bought two because like it was so cool. I actually even bought another one just in case this one broke. But so you put this on your head, right? And it actually measures your brain waves. How cool is that? So you get an app, and it'll teach you, it'll not teach you, it'll show you like what brain state you're in.
Okay.
So like and it actually has like birds tweeting. So if you go into a theta, like into a meditative state, the birds start tweeting. And then you can monitor like, okay, well, when the birds stop tweeting, you can be like, okay, what was I doing? Okay, do that thing again. And then the birds come back, and then the birds would come back, and you're like, okay, cool, now I'm on the right track to keep doing that. And then it helps you build your meditative practice. The birds personally for me are a bit fucking irritating because like as soon as the birds started tweeting, I'd like freak, like what the hell's that? And also
wake up out of it.
Yeah. So, but some people it's really good.
Where did you get them from? Will?
Amazon. You just buy it on Amazon, or you can go into the Muse
really?
sites. Muse
and
two.
how much are they?
Two. I think it's like 3,000 rand. It's like I don't know, $200 or something.
Christmas present for next year.
Yeah, but it's so amazing the technology because there's even games. This thing reads your brain signals. So like there's games that you can play. So like there's a little man, like if you think a certain way, like if you concentrate on a certain thing or like whatever, it'll make the man walk. If you want the man to jump, you like think something else and the man jumps. So it's reading what's going on in your brain. And for the Muse app, they went to monks and they mapped out monks' brainwaves and they took like an average of them or something or whatever, and that's where it's based on, where you get into that state. The birds will start tweeting.
Yeah.
But so it was very cool for me because with all the different meditations I've been practicing over the year, I could study which ones were making me go deeper and which ones were not going deeper. But then the problem was that it started actually hindering my meditation because then it became like a competition for myself. And like it also made me get upset because like if I didn't have a good meditation that morning because I didn't get any birds, or like you can read the graph afterwards, it'll show you where you were in your meditation through like the session. Then if I wasn't as good as I was the last 2 days, then I'd get upset with myself and I'd be like, wow, I'm not getting there. And so it started making it like work, the meditation, because now I've got like goals and challenges, and then it didn't become fun anymore so I stopped doing it actually. But
so you don't use them anymore?
No, but I mean, it is pretty. I mean, look, I'll do it now and then just for interest sake, and then I'll just to see how like what a certain meditation is doing.
Yeah.
But like, and I'd collect all the data because you can keep all the data, all the graphs on your computer, and you can see like how, over a month's time if you've got better or worse or whatever. But see, that's if I wasn't improving over a month, I'd get upset. So then what's the point? That's why I stopped doing it.
Okay.
But
all right. Yeah. So basically, you were saying that I'm assuming you're spending. So when you're sitting in the chair, your palms are up, you're breathing. So in the breath work, when I was reading during the week, to say that you can breathe through your mouth or through your nose, doesn't really matter, in or out. Obviously, your breathing, that vibrational technique it's not the normal like humming. If you go to that Clear Vision site and actually go and listen to the audio, there's actually an audio you can go and listen to. It actually, when you're listening to it, actually demonstrates. It demonstrates what it sounds like. To me, it sounds like a smoker's breath.
Yes, exactly.
When somebody's been smoking for too many years.
Yes. So that's exactly it. So that's what I'm saying. Like my technique, the guys, whoever's listening can try that out. Or you could just, what I say, like when I started doing this one, the Samuel, was it Sagan, Awakening the Third Eye. I mean, that brought that sensational forward the quickest. I think it's really good. And also it's got, the third eye tunnel. There's apparently a tunnel from your forehead all the way to the back, and from the top of each ear through the brain is like 2 third eye tunnels. And that's
it's a metaphysical tunnel, I'm assuming. It's something that appears in the other realm.
Yeah. But then also, tulpas, which is funny because like I was thinking, a tulpa is like what a tulpa is. Obviously, I'm just
thought. It's a thought form. Yeah.
In Buddhism, like if you think about something long enough, it will appear in another dimension or whatever. Like that's why, like with people that are very clear sentience, whatever, they can feel energies or whatever. If you just imagine like a solid object in a room, and you just keep on imagining it there, it'll become a solid object in that in that dimension or whatever, and then people that are clear seeing could actually walk and like bump into them and be like, oh my God, what's that there? You know, or like there's stories of like in Buddhism, they imagine they would like all put their energy into something that would protect the temple, like a thing, like a and then it become a live entity, and then it would actually protect the temple, and whoever came near it would like attack them or whatever.
It's like but it's a soulless entity though. That's the problem.
Yes. So that's what I was also thinking. Like when I was imagining that energy going up my spine to my third head, I thought maybe it built a tulpa of actual energy that was just flowing from my bottom of my spine up into my head. And then it just created it like in this other dimension. And then it obviously just sucked up whatever energy I had there and brought it to the top of my head. I don't know, you know. You never know.
Well, I'm not sure, man, because if you have a look at, if you go back to the Egyptian times, they talk about 3 different bodies that each person has: the car, the bar, and there was another body. But each body has a different thing. So you've got your physical body, you've got your energy body, and the spirit body. So I think the energy body is where all that stuff comes from, the Kundalini energies, all that kind of stuff. And they spoke about that stuff back then. So I definitely think that there is probably is otherworldly, because I think that energy body is what connects us to the other world and is able to move around freely, because your physical body can't. I mean, in this physical form, you can't. You actually have to move across to your energy body, or your astral body, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
And that's why you're able to, and this is why the OBE thing comes in as well, because your mind as it is now, it's in the physical realm. You have to be able to consciously put it across to your ethereal body so that you are awake as you are physically. It's a bit of a long-winded way of saying it, but it's like putting your awakened mind or your awakened consciousness into your ethereal body so that you can move around on the ethereal plane with your consciousness awake.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, man.
Yeah, so definitely, and I think with the energy bodies, with the Kundalini and all that, I think it's there. It's always been there. We just haven't been able to activate them for. So some people have got the wisdom and the abilities to do it, but most of us have forgotten over the many thousands of years.
Yeah, but they say that both of that energies will awaken your clear audience, sentience, clairvoyance, whatever, all your clears.
Yeah.
Like if you open up either the third eye or the Kundalini energy is the same awakening to spiritual dimensions and all of that stuff. But also what I also heard is that through reading all the books and that is when you do open up your third eye, it automatically opens up all of the chakras. So it actually does create like a Kundalini kind of arousing energy because all your chakras will be open completely.
Yeah.
If you do open up your third eye, that's one of the philosophies and one of the books I read.
So I mean, I know some people have got slight openings. So where some people are able to see auras, which is your energy field. Some people can see those. Some people can see your chakras. Some people can see, other things. So I think as humans, I think we're all able to do it. I think many, many thousands of years we had a state that we could do many, many things, and something happened that's put us unable to do it. Something happened in an agenda that we always talk about, put us down. I think we're too powerful. Yeah.
Changed our DNA.
We were too powerful for them, but
put the fluoride in the water and gave us social media to keep us distracted.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Put us in a constant state of fear and anxiety, and then all of our beautiful gifts and will be turned off, shut down.
But can you imagine now? Well, so say for example, you went and practiced now for the next year, and you awaken all of these things from OBE to clairaudience to levitation. How fearful would you be?
I'm really hoping to open up my heart space so that I could actually feel love fully and truly, and because I think that's what's lacking mostly in my life is that I can't actually feel love properly, and I just want that to happen like so badly. And with all of these things, as well as cool as it is that I want it to happen, and like because I do get obsessed with the phenomenon, and that's also that the mystery school. Like I keep on talking about these things to the higher initiates, and I keep on saying, stop getting obsessed about the phenomenon. Stop getting obsessed about the phenomenon. But I can't because it's so cool.
Yeah.
But I do want to like really heal completely, that I could So I'm just hoping that if I awaken all of these things, I will be completely healed. And I want to know the truth about everything. I want to know, like, I don't want to be looking at all of the fucking shit on the internet with everyone else's opinions and this is that and this is this and reading 20 third-hour books and this, whatever. I just want to know the truth about everything. I want to just be able to get it somewhere. So that's what, so that I can just not only just guard myself like through all of this shit and know what the right direction and what is right and what is wrong and what is the truth, and so I can guide myself. But it would be, if I knew what it was, I could also show other people, and also, like, if I could open up my heart space to actually feel love like so unconditionally, like that I could also help other people, that if I could figure out how to do that and show people how to do that, I mean, it would be the greatest thing ever. I mean, I just think that would be so if that these things get me excited, because I think, okay, well, if that's real, then this other funny healings that I'm doing at the mystery school, which is so weird, that should be real as well. And it just gives me confirmation. I must just keep going to try and heal myself, and so I can obviously become a better person and help other people on a path that's right and true. And
cool.
Not all of this other weird shit that everyone else's opinions that people say, which that they haven't even experienced, but they believe in it.
Yeah, 100%. Sure. Well, man, I know we've been going on for this is by far our longest episode. So for all those, thank you for listening for this long in. It is our last one for the year. This is why we made it a little bit longer than normal. So it is the last one for 2023. We'll be back next week with the Atlantis story, which I think is going to be quite interesting. I know Wall's been reading up a lot about it, and so have I. But yeah, cool, man. Well, I think we gotta end it there for tonight, and then we can get back together again next week, and we can go with the Atlantis one. So yeah, guys, thank you for listening. We're closing in on our 800 downloads. So thank you for all of those guys around the world for listening and downloading. Much appreciated. And seriously, have a fantastic New Year's. And have a great 2024. We'll see you in the first week in 2024. Well, thank you, man, and have a great New Year's with your daughter. I know you will. And yeah, we'll check you next week.
Yeah, likewise, Lee. Awesome, man.
Cool.
See you next
have
week.
A good one, buddy.
You too,
yeah.
man.
Cheers.